Building your primary product list, part 1. In this lesson you're going to learn how we begin our search for our primary products and also how to set up Jungle Scout correctly to speed up the process as much as possible. Building your hot opportunity list is a two-step process. First, find your primary products, and then second, find your competing products for each of your primary products. Now we are going to split this into 3 lessons to make it easier for you to follow. But once you get comfortable, you can do both of the steps at the same time. This is a time-consuming and sometimes frustrating process, and you must remain patient and stick to the process. It might take you multiple attempts to build your hot opportunity list. This is normal, so do not get disheartened. Now, in the upcoming 2 lessons, you are going to see varying numbers of results for the searches we perform. And this is because Amazon constantly changes the number of results they show. Now, as of yesterday, they are currently only showing approximately 50,000 searches instead of the normal million plus, but that is absolutely nothing to be worried about. It is just Amazon split testing the number of results that they show. This is completely normal, and 50,000 is plenty of searches. I've been doing this for 4 years, and I can tell you I have never gone through 50,000 searches for any particular category. Because Amazon roughly show these in order of ranking, anything below 50,000, to be quite honest, is not going to be of any interest to us. So let's get started. Make sure you've got Chrome installed, make sure you've set up Jungle Scout, and let's go to Amazon. So here we are at Amazon. Now very quickly, just before we get started, make sure you're not logged in to your Amazon account, because being logged in can skew the results that you get on the search pages. So just make sure you're not logged into Amazon. Now to get the ball rolling, we're going to use our search string, which is the minus sign, and then a bunch of random letters. Now use your own random letters, there's no need to copy this string. Just make sure when you've typed them all in and you're ready to hit search that there's no suggested terms underneath, as I showed you in the tools video. The next step would be to choose the category we want to start searching in. Now while you may have your own specific ideas about what categories you want to search in, we do recommend you search in multiple categories and don't just stick to one, because you might miss out on an incredible product just by searching one category. So if we click on the all, now all these categories in this drop down are top level categories. However, remember there are only certain categories we are interested in, so make sure you have that category download list so you can see which ones you should search in and which ones you shouldn't. Now we talked briefly about top level categories. The great thing about using Jungle Scout is it automatically pulls all the top level category BSRs for us, but I will show you an example of the differences later in this video. Now these aren't all the top level categories. You'll probably notice if you're looking at the category list that some of them don't appear in this drop down, and that's because there are a couple of anomalies. In other words, categories that appear underneath another category but are still a top level category in their own right. Don't worry too much about this. Basically your BSR list has every top level category we recommend, including the BSR ranges. So I'm going to show you a quick example of this, because I'm going to go to Home and Kitchen, select it, so I'm going to be searching in Home and Kitchen to start with, and click on the search button. So it's loaded all my searches, but I'm actually going to take this a step further, because I'm going to click on Kitchen and Dining, and this is one of those anomalies. It is a top level category in its own right, but it does not appear in the main drop down up here. So I'm going to click on that. So now I'm basically searching in Kitchen and Dining, and this shows us something else, and that is that Amazon, for whatever reason, shows certain categories in list form, in other words, one underneath the other, and others with 4 products across the top and then products going down too. Now, to enable us to speed up this process, we want as many results on our search page as possible. And to do that, if you see this situation where it's just a list, one underneath the other, then if you go up here where there is a sort by default it's relevance, and keep going across, you'll see these 2 icons, one with 3 lines and one with 4 squares. You want to click on the 4 squares one. What this does is it changes the way things appear, but it also adds more results to the search page, because everything we do here is we want to speed everything up. So we've got as many results as we can get on one page. Now what we're also going to do here is we're going to actually filter these results by price. Now we can do that, as you will see, inside of Jungle Scout. But what we're trying to do here is reduce the results that we don't want to see to make it easier for Jungle Scout to pull the information. And all you need to do is scroll down, and in the left sidebar you'll see price. And in there we know our price range is 19 to 70. I'm actually going to put $18.99. It's only 1 cent difference, and there's probably a lot of products out there that are priced at $18.99. and then the max, remember, is 70. So I'm going to click go, and that's now reduced the number of results. So now we're ready to open Jungle Scout. So I'm going to go to the top right here and click on the Jungle Scout Pro icon, and it's going to start pulling our results. But there's something else we're going to do again to help to speed up the process, and that is we're going to set what columns are visible. You can see the columns I've got visible here, they probably look very different from yours. So all you need to do is go to the 3 lines in the top left of the Jungle Scout app, click on it, then click on columns. The API keys you don't need to worry too much about. Entering your Amazon API keys does help a little bit in terms of speed, but not that much. Myself personally, I don't use them. But we want to click on columns, and you're going to notice there's a lot of boxes here that are not checked that you have checked, and we just want to change them. And you can see by mine, these are the ones I want to see inside of the Jungle Scout app, and that's price, category, rank, estimated revenue. The only reason I remove the estimated number of sales is estimated revenue kind of does the same thing, and estimated sales isn't really that important. And on the note of estimated, remember this is estimated. Jungle Scout obviously has a lot of information in the database, and they use that to be able to estimate the revenue and number of sales. I've also got number of reviews checked, and also product weight. Now I'm not checking product dimensions because basically you should be able to tell if a product's big or not by just looking at it. Remember, although we're most concerned about weight, that it's 3 pounds and under, we also don't want an incredibly large product even if it's light. And we covered that in an earlier lesson. Now the seller isn't really important, that just shows you whether it's Amazon or it's FBA or FBM. We're not concerned if a product is sold by Amazon, by the way. It doesn't mean we don't choose it because it's been sold by Amazon. Don't think because they're selling it that you can't compete. It's simply not the case. Now I've also unchecked listing quality score. This is something that Jungle Scout estimates. It's not something we're particularly interested in, especially at this stage. And to be quite honest, listing quality can be a little bit subjective, so it's very difficult for a tool to get it right. Sponsored products, all that shows is whether there's any ads on Amazon for the product. Again, although it's quite useful to know, it's not something that's that important. And if you use all our criteria for selecting your product, you're actually going to see it anyway. Fees is another one. Again, it's not that critical right now. It's something we can look at later when we're trying to narrow down our list. And rating is just the average rating of the reviews. Again, it's not something that critical. So I'm recommending you just check the boxes that I've got checked here and uncheck all the others, because it speeds up the process and it also makes it easier to see what you're looking at and to be able to decide whether a product should go on your list or not. Once you've done that, just click save. So if I click on the go back, this is another reason I really love using Jungle Scout. We can actually filter the results we get by searching using these filters. Now it doesn't automatically continue doing it. In other words, these filters work when you've got X amount of results in the app. You can't set this and it automatically does it every time you add more products. But that's not too much of an issue, and you'll see that when we start moving through the pages. So you'll see this in more detail when we actually start pulling all the products, going through the pages and filtering them. But for lowest price to highest price, we don't need to fill that in because we're going to do that on the Amazon page itself. Now, when it comes to reviews, if you remember from the ASM criteria lesson, we use the reviews based on the primary product and the 2 competing products. So it's across those 3 products. So at this stage, I wouldn't filter by reviews. It's something we look at later. However, lowest rank, we definitely want to do that. So I'm in kitchen and dining right now. I know the BSR range is 250 to 6,500. So I'd put those filters in. Now, when it comes to lowest sales, it's something we're not interested in. However, you'll notice here, because we haven't got that column visible, then we can't filter it. Kind of makes sense. Now, the lowest estimated revenue, again, it's not something we're interested in right now. We're quite happy to see all the different types of revenue. Lowest rating, we don't have that column highlighted, so we're not going to touch that. Lowest weight, we definitely want to do this. So lowest weight is basically 1 ounce, so we're going to leave that blank. But highest weight, we would put 3 in there because we know the highest weight we want to look at is 3 pounds. And then you would just click filter results. And you'll notice on the right hand side, it's automatically removed a bunch of results. I'm just going to close that. So that's how you set up Jungle Scout to actually start searching for your primary products to build your primary product list. So what's next? So now you've learned how to set up the Jungle Scout app and how we begin our search for our primary products. In the next lesson, you are actually going to start building your list of primary products. So your action step, make sure you set up Jungle Scout ready to begin searching in the next lesson. But that's it for this lesson. Take care.